Gentlemen, and welcome to Designing a Menu. We use a menu because it is going to incorporate image and quite a bit of text. We're creating a menu, we're creating a catalog of food. It is basically a standard graphic procedure. For this exercise, we are going to do our typography in Photoshop, which we've spoken about. It is a no-no, but due to the length of time in your class, we are going to keep things simple. So please follow along with step 1, which is building your image files in Photoshop. Now, I have my template file open. Please follow my mouse to your layers. I will actually disconnect them and show you. Here we are. Layer 1 and the background. Layer 1 is marking the extra information needed for full bleed photography. This will be trimmed away so we do not see any white edges when we are finished. So it is locked. Our background is showing our fold lines and our margins. This is also locked. Similar to our last soapbox packing it up project, we are going to sandwich our images between. Go to the background and make a new layer before we do anything. This way we know we are working on a menu and we are working on a separate layer. Now, we do not drag and drop into Photoshop. So as you can see across the top of my screen, I have a selection of food items that I would like to use. So what I am going to do is slowly place food items in my menu so you can see. First, I will start with this fruit plate. Command A selects the whole image. Command C copies the image. And then we go back to our file and Command V to paste. We do this because we want to make sure that all of our images are placed in our template file at high resolution, 300 dpi, and that they're CMYK. Now, I'm going to use the Move tool to move this around in my image. This would be a full bleed image because the composition extends past the main subject matter and is quite interesting. We don't want to lose this. I might just want to hit Command T. Don't forget, it has to go past the red to the edge of the bleed. And then expand the size accordingly. And ironically, it is identical to the size of our document. That could be your whole menu. You could be selling bananas, fruit plates, and Hershey's chocolate bars as your 3 menu items. So the only thing you have to do at that point is call out and describe through typography the name of your restaurant, the main items, starter, main, and appetizer or dessert. Describe them a little bit and put some pricing together. Based on your Google slide concept boards and your references to menus, please use that influence accordingly. Now, if you don't want a full bleed menu effect, let's throw it out. Say we want to do objects. So let's do this. I found myself a hot dog. Command all, Command copy, Command C, over and paste. Ooh, I don't know, guys. That looks a little small. Let's see here. Command T. Let's not hold Shift so we don't distort it. And let's make our hot dog the size we want. Ooh, gee. Let's zoom in on this, guys. Do we want to use this file? Waiting for my answer. The answer would be no. This is a blurry low-res file. Let's not use blurry low-res files on our layouts. So, hot dog gone. Let's just see what this happy cow looks like. Command A, Command C, and paste. Small too. But not too bad. I'm going to be okay with that. Now, here's the concern. Do you want that box because it's a little out of proportion? Do you want this effect? I don't know. I would at least try to organize it and align my shape. And I would do that by creating a marquee around the box and keeping it proportional to the plate. We can't get any more or any further away than this. Select, transform selection. Now we can adjust that box proportionally and we can create that gap. Hold shift because you want even proportions. And now you can, now Q shows you the mask. Release, all you do is hit Q, hit Q. We don't want to cut the cow, so we want to do select inverse. Now look at Q. That's what we want. So you hit delete, deselect, and now you have a cow plate that is actually probably too big. That is at least in proportion. Now let's leave that there for a second because that to me means that we need to have boxed items in all of our menu items. Maybe we don't want to do that. Oh, and did somebody ask me how we make a colorful background? Sure. Go back to our layers. Do not forget locked background, locked trim, new layer. Watch how easy this is. Say we want to make it baby blue. Grab your eyedropper tool. Come over here, click on the color. You can slide, click and slide, and you can see the color. All you have to do is edit, fill, foreground color, boom, blue background. Turn this off. That gives you the idea what it looks like. Turn it on so you know not to have anything go past your trim line. This is not a full bleed item. This is a boxed or segregated item. We don't need to worry about trim. Now, I'm going to let you guys digest the cow and decide whether or not you want a cow. I don't necessarily like boxed items. I don't think the background is attractive. I would rather use an all-over photo with a more attractive background. See how this has a little bit of a napkin and a little bit of a bottle of something we can drink. Looks a little bit more bougie, a little bit more attractive, guys. We're trying to make fancy here. All right, now back to our menu. There's the picture. That's a full bleed. That has everything in the composition that you want, so you keep it. But I think we want this picture. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I like this. This is a nice plate of steak with some rosemary, or it actually looks like thyme, I'm sorry. But I like the way the layout looks. So I'm going to make sure I select the appropriate layer. Command All, Command Copy, Command V. There we are. Already better than the cow. But we're going to keep the cow just to show place. Now, that is a boxed item that has a little bit of blue and a little bit of red. We've talked about this, guys, in class. Is there enough information there to warrant keeping it, or is it a distraction? Maybe it is. Let's go back to that picture. Maybe what we need to do is make a mask of the plate. Make yourself a mask of the plate. Copy it to a new layer. And there, now you have just a plate of food. Command-All, Command-Copy, come back. Command-V. There is a plate of food. The problem with this is, guys and gals, I'm going to turn the other two layers off. This plate of food is not complete. So please do not think just because I masked my shape out and got rid of the background, it looks good. It's missing. It does not look good. Unless you were to do this and hit Command-T and make it so it was the whole plate, now it looks fine because it bleeds off. That's a lot of steak on a menu though. But you could do that. You could do this. Push it off to the side. We saw the menu. Maybe it's a steak restaurant. And you do all your typography over here. You don't have to use the 3 sections as 3 sections. You just have to make something that looks good. But if your original intention was this, you got to get a different picture because this cut off, not cool. So let's turn that off. Let's go back to pictures. We're done with that one. We're done with that one. I have another one. Look at this. Guess what I searched? Complete plate of steak. That might be a better option. So again, let's create a quick mask of the plate. Hey, look, guys, a plate is round. I'm pretty sure a circle will do it for you. Copy and paste to a new layer. There it is. Select all, Command-Copy, and paste. Command-T to scale. Whoops, I distorted. Do not hold Shift. I have a bad habit. And make your plate sized accordingly. And there you go. So ladies and gentlemen, the takeaway is you were either going to have complete placed floating objects that finish in balance. You were going to take something like this half plate, if you love it so much, but you're going to have to push it off your page and scale it and create your own theory, move it over, and maybe that's what you want. Just a little teaser. That's not going to work. We talked about this in our lesson. You don't want tension or kisses at the edge of your boxes because it makes your eye wander and you don't know your focal point. So we're not going to do that. You do have the option of boxed goods, but you can tell by the tone of my voice, I am not loving them. Okay? So let's not do that. Let's try to create clean presentations or full bleed presentations. And don't forget how we can do the easiest thing, which is a full bleed picture. That is the whole menu. If you can find that picture, there you go. Your whole lesson becomes about typography. So there's a couple options for you guys. Full bleed, edge to edge, top to bottom. Not loving the plate with the box around it, but you might find a better picture to do it with, and it can be done. I like that more, but you'd want to see a little bit more of the, it is a wine bottle. You can make it a soda bottle and a napkin. Or you full bleed it and make it big and active and simple. That's the only picture on your layout. You can talk about your dessert. You can talk about your starter. You don't have to show it. Or just a nice, clean, floating shape. And you would have steak, dessert, starters, in any order that you see fit. Okay? So I will come back in our next lesson to talk about typography. Thank you guys. Have fun with your Photoshop layouts.